New York City made history last night. Zohran Mamdani, 34 years old, Muslim, the son of Indian-Ugandan immigrants, has been elected mayor of New York City. The Democratic Socialists from Queens swept the 5 boroughs, defeating Republican Curtis Sliwa and former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who ran as an independent. For millions, it was a moment of pride. A new face leading America's biggest city. For one man in Washington, it was something else entirely. Donald Trump was watching closely since the day Mandani announced his candidacy, and minutes after the winner was announced, the president took to Truth Social with an all-caps explanation. Trump was blaming 2 things: the government shutdown and his own absence from the ballot for his party's failures. But it didn't stop there. Before Election Day, he had made his feelings crystal clear. He urged New Yorkers to vote for Cuomo, saying that whether they personally liked Andrew Cuomo or not, they really had no choice. He also warned that if Mamdani won, he would likely withhold federal funding, saying that if Zohran Mamdani became mayor, it was highly unlikely he would contribute federal funds to what he called his beloved first home. However, voters in New York chose a different direction. As results were announced, supporters gathered in Brooklyn, chanting Mamdani's name. Still, Trump's warning lingers. Could the president actually punish the city financially? It signals that the feud between Trump and America's largest, bluest city is far from over.
Has been investing in America. We've been advancing science and creating high-value jobs. But today, are you okay? Gordon, you okay? Yeah.
Press out. Press. We're going. Thank you, press. Press. Right, guys. Cameras. We're done. Cameras.
The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
And so it begins. These are the words from the president as they just had this fake Democratic sweep in this recent election cycle. And so it begins. As you really live in this world and live in the truth, you can truly see the world for what it is and not allow yourself to be taken advantage of by these liars and all these schemes and these agendas. The ones with power and influence are clearly moving in an agenda, and if you have not been guarding yourself and keeping yourself focused and sound-minded, it's easy to get trapped into it. I've been working hard in my most recent series, and I have a lot to cover, but I had to take a quick pause in this series to address some things. Things are getting bad out there. I see the narratives forming, and they seem to be aligning with all that I have been warning and telling people to prepare for. Change is truly upon this world. Things are just completely evil today. I mean, they're telling the world publicly that they can actually clone, showing us that this technology that they've been showing us in these movies is for real, by showing us that Tom Brady cloned his pet.
Tom Brady's adorable pup, Junie, is a social media star. But if she looks familiar, it's definitely not a coincidence. The dog is actually a clone of Brady's previous pit bull mix, Lua, who died in 2023. The NFL legend revealing his new dog's background this week, writing, "In a few short months, Colossal gave my family a second chance with a clone of our beloved dog. Brady, an investor in the biotech company Colossal Biosciences. The company's CEO compares the process of cloning to IVF without sperm.
When you clone a dog, is it just the appearance? Is there also an element of personality? What can you expect?
When you clone an animal, it's an identical genetic copy. So it's the physical traits, it's its appearance, but a lot of the behavioral traits as well come with that. There's still environmental factors that affect all of us.
I mean, they tell you in such a simple way to not bring alarm that they are actually cloning life. And the thing is that if they are actually bringing this to our attention now, they are well past whatever we think. This world keeps pushing boundaries and wickedness. Satan is trying to say that he also can create life, but he says he can do it better because he can customize it to what you want and what you ask for. Every step of the way in this world, he's trying to say that he is like the Most High. How long do you think this is able to continue? They are telling you to your face that they are wicked, and everyone is just ignoring it, going about their day without a thought about it. I want to say some things that may hit you hard if you haven't really been hearing me out over the years, but these are words that I hope save your life. None of what you are seeing is a game. Yes, this world system is playing games with you, but the stakes are not a game. It's not for fun. They are manipulating the world to steer it in a very dark path. And if you have not grabbed onto the truth right now, it may be too late for you soon. As Trump has warned that so it begins, I know that these messages won't be for the majority of you, but I do hope that many of you have been listening to the warnings and explanations of what is occurring in this world, and you have been preparing yourself for it. For those that have been listening and preparing, I want to give you some hope and encouragement. Keep strong in your faith and endure. What's happening right now is not for you if you do not attach to it. So right now, you must live strong in your faith and focus on Yahuwah. But on the flip side, to those who have been in and out of these videos, and you're not truly standing in the truth, I'm giving you an extreme warning that your time is almost running out. You have to make up your mind on what you believe. You clearly do not have much more time left before the full agenda kicks off. And so you truly need to choose who you serve today, not tomorrow. I'm going to say a few things. I hope you've been listening. Let's begin. Okay, so let me start like this. I've been warning for many years in this ministry about preparing for the time when things go bad. I don't know how far they're taking this agenda with this shutdown, but I do know that the main agenda they are seeking is very much in place. If you aren't able to see the narrative for this coming civil war, you aren't truly living with your eyes opened, and it will be on you when this all kicks off and you're not ready for it. I have been warning for a long time about stocking up and preparing for hard times. I hope that many of you have taken those warnings and were stocking up. Things don't happen overnight. If you are one that has worked for this government, but you were ready for times like this, then as the paycheck slowed and your jobs got cut, you should have some backup so that you know that you could eat. You have to understand that this is real. I know everybody have all these different truths out here and everybody's debating about the truth, but this is not just some conspiracy theory. This is really happening. These people are moving in agendas. And because it's not just about collapse, they're making sure they draw out the agenda to drag many people attached to it in. What you are really seeing is about the narrative that they are creating and using to manipulate people into attaching to different sides of the conflict. Red versus blue, white versus black, rich versus poor, etc., etc. And everyone attached to it will be caught in the crossfire. For those of us who have chosen Yahuwah and are trusting in him, this is the reason why storing up supplies and food has been important. Because look at the first thing that they're attacking. And things haven't even gotten bad yet. What is needed now more than ever is faith and trust in Yahuwah. And this will be the main currency and the main difference between those who are ready for what's about to happen and those that are not ready. Have you been training yourself up for Yah, is the question. Here's the thing that most people do not get. When we choose Yahuwah and come to serve him, it's not always just an easy thing. Most people are fed this delusion in church that once you believe in Jesus and come down in the altar call, then you are all good to go and life is just going to be good and easy because you made the right choice in life. But the truth is that in this real faith, it is the complete opposite. When you truly choose this faith, your life can sometimes be ripped up and twisted upside down because before you chose Yah, you were living for yourself. And what you were about and who you were with, it wasn't aligned to Yahuwah and his plan for you. So what most people don't often get is that when you submit to Yahuwah, you are saying that you want his way for your life. You want his kingdom, you want his dominion. And therefore, the life that you once had is over. And if you're truly following him, he will remove all things that were not right for you and that was blocking you from him. And on the flip side, Satan wants to say that you don't truly love him and you don't truly want his way, and he wants to prove that. And so you know what happens with most people? They can't take it. They think that something has to be wrong. They think that they must have done something wrong, but the truth is that they were doing something right, but they couldn't deal with the course correction. As Paul says, "And you he made alive, who were dead in trespasses and sin, in which you once walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit who now works in the sons of disobedience, among whom also we all once conducted ourselves in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, just as the others." Ephesians chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. This was you. And now that you have chosen Yahuwah, you expect that your life was going to be the same, even though you were following the course of this world, which was actually following Satan. No, when you choose Yahuwah, you are now following Yahuwah's course, and it has nothing to do with the life you were once living and the things that you were once prioritizing. And so what is going to happen if you truly desire to be a part of Yahweh's kingdom? What is going to happen is he's going to change your life gradually and sometimes abruptly, and really test if you meant those words that you love him, that you trust him, that you want his way, that you want his world. It's not just say it with your mouth and that you're all good. That's religion and it's not real. Your faith is going to be tested. The devil is going to come at you to see if you really truly have faith. And what happens is that if you truly meant that you love Yahuwah and that you want his world and you trust him, you will weather the storm and you will come out stronger. You will learn his voice and you will know when he's telling you yes or no. You will know how to let him lead you. You will lose a lot of people, and the circumstances in your life that were holding you back from him, they will be removed and you will find peace. And you see, that doesn't happen overnight. And so as I've been stressing about preparing for Yah, the relationship with him is the most important part. And if over this time you are building yourself up early on, what is about to happen in this world will be much easier for you than the others that were playing games and having one foot in and one foot out. So if you went through the challenges and started to realign your life to him early on, then right now you're going to know how to trust him. And as these challenges come, you already are going to know how to deal with the loss of people, the loss of relationships that are about to happen rapidly. It's possible that most of the people have already left your life already. What I'm saying is that the testing that he is about to put this world through, you have already been tested in a more controlled way that is also free from the mind control that they are about to engage in. So if this is you, please feel blessed and know your job right now is just to endure. Stay true and committed to this relationship with Yah that you have built. There's not much more to it than this. Just follow him and trust him. And so for me, what I've been doing is making content that is just about understanding him better and keeping your mind on him and his word. And for many of you, this series is not about waking up, but more about filling yourself up in knowledge of him. But for everyone else, maybe you are struggling right now. Maybe the truth is starting to set in on what is actually happening. Maybe you've heard these warnings from this channel for a little while now, but you haven't really taken them seriously. Maybe you would pop in on these videos every now and then, but also you fill your mind up with nonsense for many of these others who aren't focused on the truth. And now things are getting real for you and you're a little nervous. I put a quick stop in my series to say some real words that I don't feel like most people are going to say to you right now. Let me first give you a reality check. Everything that you're seeing right now is not real. I'm not going to explain it in depth, but if you watch parts 1 and 2 of my most recent series, you'll be able to understand that everything that you're seeing is part of an overall agenda. So let me tell you how I see it in regards to this government shutdown. I warned about it about 2 months ago when this Charlie Kirk situation happened. Do you not see that this is dumb, that the government is shut down because they're fighting about healthcare subsidies, while at the same time they're letting people lose jobs and lose food, which will create more health problems? That's complete nonsense. More than likely, what you're seeing is that this country is broke, and they are not allowed to reopen this government until after they enter into war, which is what is coming. But at the same time, the agenda is always about a civil war in this country that will turn into a race war at some point. So they are running a narrative that is provoking all sides against each other. And if you're attached to either side, it doesn't matter what side, if you voted for either side, if you believe in one side more than the other, like you say the Republicans do make more sense, or because you just really hate Trump, you just think that it's all about Trump right now and you want to stop him. If you think like any of that and you believe in one side more than the other, you are going to get sucked into the narrative of a controlled collapse while the countries begin to war against each other. This is all a show. Please understand, even if they were to open the government tomorrow, the harm has already been done. This country is no longer the United States. It is the divided states. And as Yahusha said, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself will not stand. Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. And so if you truly believe Yahusha and his word, you should understand what you're seeing right now. And Trump saying, "and it begins," is giving you a cue of what time it really is. For me, I really don't know what other people are seeing right now. But if you follow the money and what is going on around the world, the rest of the world is preparing for this new world to come, the new economy. Just recently, our brother Larry just put us on with what the Jamaican Prime Minister spoke about 2 years ago.
In the coming weeks I'll be making certain announcements regarding the acceleration of Jamaica's intention to become a fully digital society. We are well on our way to this. We have established the national identification system. We have put in place our digital currency. We have given directions to our ministries to digitalize their operations. Most of our ministries are now moving from paper-based systems to digital systems. Our military is transitioning. The society is moving very quickly, very rapidly to become digital. Our banking consumers are seeing it as well because the banks are moving very rapidly to digital. You have something now called artificial intelligence. Very soon this position of a human being exchanging cash and so on, that is going to disappear from the banking system very soon. And you are going to have to interface with machines. I don't want it to be a scary thought, but it is a thought that we...
Do you hear all that? Yeah. Now, if this little island of Jamaica is preparing for a digital currency and a digital economy, what do you think the rest of the world is on right now? You think that Jamaica is just coming up with this? It's right in front of everyone's faces, and they have plans to walk everyone into it. But first, you need the chaos. And if you don't see chaos forming right now, then I don't know what to tell you honestly. You've really got some hard times ahead. But they are about to pull the rug out from under everyone. And you must understand the mental and the spiritual climate of today. The overwhelming majority of this country are not ready. Once they flip the switch and turn it on, the people are ready to follow whatever they say. Tell me, what is the difference between now and COVID? What I'm asking is, why aren't people walking around in masks, living scared right now? What is the difference right now? The only thing that's different is that the media and those with power have stopped telling everyone to worry, and they stopped telling everyone that there's something to fear. The minute that they decide to change that, regardless of what the agenda is and what they want you to be fearful of, whatever the narrative is, everyone around you that's not focused on Yah is going to follow it one way or another. And the thing is that everyone gets hit in different phases too. And what you need to see and know for yourself right now is that the mental capacity of these people, none of them are ready. Those that are just liberal or just not really religious and aren't thinking too much about anything, they're just going to be like deers in a headlight. They aren't ready. And here's the real mindset of most of these people. Most of them are just hoping and expecting that everything is just going to work itself out because they have been mentally conditioned to believe this. In America particularly, this is a spoiled generation. And as a majority, they haven't had to live with real challenges. Everything they want is right around the corner for them, or they can just order it online and it's delivered to their door. They have everything they need. And even when things got bad, the government, they stepped in and fixed things. So things like COVID, the Great Recession with the housing collapse, the .com crash, I mean, whatever problems we had over the last 30 to 40 years were with small pain, and things eventually got better. So you have an enormous amount of this population believing this, that things are just going to work itself out. And therefore, they may expect things to get bad, but they truly think that they're going to weather the storm. They live in a false reality where this system covered them and made them feel safe and secure. I heard a lady just saying she thought the system would do better.
I'm just sad, crushed, and disappointed with the system.
But what happens to them when this false reality goes out the window? You are going to see panic. A whole bunch of spoiled adults that were not prepared that are going to panic. And that's the majority. And also, there's another part of this population that believe that they're going to be raptured soon. They think they're going to disappear. No matter how much you have told them that it's not true, they haven't listened and they are waiting to be raptured. The way they see it is that the problems that are going to happen to non-Christians are not going to happen to them. I need you to understand that all of these people are mentally and spiritually unstable, and they are not ready. And understand that this is who you are actually right now surrounded by. You look around you, this is who surrounds you. And so what do you think happens when the real problems actually happen? Just imagine a few more weeks of this shutdown and what that would look like. Now, I don't know if they can actually justify that, but we'll see what they do. I mean, right now, they're already shutting down a percentage of air travel. It will get worse. There are people more and more hungry right now. And many of these people are people that have never really had a problem with getting these benefits. You see, most of this country, they look at things in the wrong way. Most of this country looks at the Negro community as the main recipients of these SNAP benefits. But that's not true. The largest demographic that receives SNAP benefits are those who identify as white. Over 35%. That's the largest demographic. Many of them have never had to struggle or worry about these checks. And for many of them, they've been on these checks for generations. You have people that have never struggled that also own weapons, and they are about to be driven to desperation. What I'm trying to convey is problems are on the doorstep. And even if the government does reopen at some point, the country is completely divided. And right now we see racists like that Nick Fuentes guy coming out the woodworks, and he's getting attention again. And who knows what the racist nonsense that he's about to spur. But this country is completely divided either way. Did you hear the victory speech of that newly elected socialist?
This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up. We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks. So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
It's completely about conflict. So for many of you who have not been preparing and you are not mentally ready for all this, I advise you that you need to get serious now. Over the years of this ministry, I have had people speak everything that they can say about me because I speak against so many different things that they hold dear. People are trying to protect their religion instead of protecting Yahuwah and his kingdom and his righteousness. I have never made this ministry about me. People always want to fight and debate. When I started this ministry, I had a lot more patience. My tone was different. My tolerance for confusion was more because growth is a process. But I am very different right now. I only care about those who truly care about Yahuwah and truly care about his kingdom and his word. That's my focus. If you're attached to the strong delusion, these messages are not for you. Too many people are playing religion. Too many people just scroll content looking for conspiracy theories or gossip. But the overwhelming majority could really care less about the truth. But I don't care. And so I say all that to say that depending on who you are, this ministry and this channel may not be right for you any longer because I'm not here to play games and justify false religion. I truly believe that I am an awakened dry bone that is preparing for the promise of the second Exodus. And I am preparing whoever I can to also be ready, whether you are a natural or grafted in branch of Yasharel. And I believe that as these agendas accelerate, the true remnant is going to be much more defined. And I believe that's happening right now. So with that said, let me say a few things about what I believe many of you need to hear. The first thing I want to say is that you need to make sure that you understand the promises that our Father has made, and you know truly what you are looking for. If you know what you're looking for and what you're waiting for, then you don't have to get confused and be led astray. All these Christians looking for an unbiblical pre-tribulation rapture, and they're looking for prophecy to be fulfilled through these Rev 2:9s. And none of them know a thing about the second Exodus. They have no clue what that even is. I'm sorry to tell you that the majority of them, if they do not get ready now, they will not be coming. And that's not speaking condemnation. But please, I ask you to just look back 5 years ago when COVID was here. How many of these people were you able to tell them to not follow that agenda? If you were against it, were there a lot of people listening to you as these things were happening? Understand that what we're talking about that's coming is going to be even worse. If they aren't trained right now and they don't truly know our Father, and they don't truly understand what it is that He is planning to do, these people are going to be tested. He said He's going to test the whole earth. And hopefully, some of these people, they pass the test. Hopefully, some of those seeds that you planted will take root. But right now, you need to understand that most of these people will not be coming. But for you, if you don't right now put Yahuwah and His kingdom first right now, you are going to miss the most important event of your life. People really don't understand our Father. They treat Him like He's just going to beam you up whether you are ready or not. Understand, when Noah had the ark, they had to walk in it. His children also, they had to choose to walk in the ark. You must make the choice to live for the truth. And if you're confused about it or still straddling the fence, that's your fault. I know I have done a lot to prepare those who will listen, but all that He said He's going to do is in the Word, and it's promised many times. So if you don't understand it, it's because of one reason and one reason only. You aren't putting Yahweh first. Now, you still have time to change that, but you need to get serious now. You're behind in the race, and you need to speed up and prioritize and make the right decisions all the time right now, because nothing else matters. I don't care about all that you're planning, all your goals, all these career goals, financial goals, all these other things. I feel very bad for many people when they find out that everything that they tied their life to just doesn't matter. I mean, even in sports right now, they're literally showing everyone how fake it is, showing how it's rigged, creating scandals, and people still don't care. You need to get focused on the promises. Those in the truth are waiting for the second Exodus. And before this happens, Yahweh is going to hold the world ransom for us, just as He did Egypt in the first Exodus. And so we know He has said He's going to take peace away from the earth, and He's going to bring about famine and inflation. And all three of these things lead to mass death. This is the reality. And if you understand this, there's nothing else to concern yourself with. Know the promises. Now, with what I just said about all the others that aren't ready, I'm going to tell you something that you may not want to hear, but it needs to be said, and maybe you need a reminder about. You are going to have to let them go. Hopefully, you are blessed, and many of them let you go first. For me, I have family and friends that I have had strong connection to all my life. They just fell off one by one on their own, not even with major fallouts. One person just literally stopped communicating with me, and I don't even know what his problem is, but I'm not chasing him. The only reason I was still in communication with him was to still be able to be a voice of reason for him, and hopefully he makes the right choice. But I see his mind is completely trapped to this world, so he's done. I'm focused on my family and making sure that those who love Yah are ready for Him. That's my priority. The thing is that the strong delusion is real. What is prophesied is real. And because these people love the lie and hate the truth, they are caught in the delusion that eventually leads to condemnation. You have to truly believe the words of our Messiah and live through them. He said, "For Elohim did not send His Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through Him might be saved. He who believes in Him is not condemned, but he who does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of Elohim. And this is the condemnation, that the light has come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone practicing evil hates the light. It does not come to the light, lest his deeds should be exposed. But he who does the truth comes to the light, that his deeds may be clearly seen, that they have been done in Elohim. John chapter 3, verses 17 through 21. See, there's a bunch of fake people following fake religion that they believe in the Son of Elohim, but they are living in falsehoods and false religion. They don't know him at all. They don't know the Son. They don't know the Father at all. What they know is religion. But hopefully that's not you. And so if you are walking true to this faith, many people should have been dropping off on their own, because understand, it's not about you that they're running away from. It's the light that's in you. But the problem is that for many of you, you feel that you can't be without these people. And so you conform to them instead of making them conform to you. You put them first before you put Yahuwah first. And therefore, many of these people you still have around you, even though Yahuwah is trying to get them away. So listen, whatever the case is, whether you have had these people around because you've been trying to save them, or you have had them around because you felt that you couldn't lose them, I need you to hear this now. You have to let them go, or you are going to be tied to them and their fate. Understand it like this. No matter how much of a good person they are, no matter how much they love you or how much you love them, the overall problem is that they don't love Yahuwah enough, which means that they are an idolater. They have put other things before Yahuwah, and that's why they aren't truly tied to him. Those that have been in rebellion all these years are in judgment, and you cannot block this judgment from them. You can only tie yourself to that judgment if you can't move past it. Yahusha told you already, do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's enemies will be those of his own household. Here it is right here. He who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he who does not take his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He who finds his life will lose it, and he who loses his life for my sake will find it. Matthew chapter 10, verses 34 through 39. Look, it's your choice. Go ahead, play religion. Mess around with religion that tells you that their rebellion won't affect you. If you love these people more than you love our Messiah, and you choose to stay attached to them because you love them so much, Messiah said you aren't worthy of him. And listen, I understand this is very hard. I mean, for me personally, my oldest son, he is in rebellion, attached to Christianity, and he thinks I'm the problem. He has a time limit that's closing on him for the ark. I mean, I honestly don't even know if that time limit has passed, because just like people run to the ark when they see the flood coming, then they want to say that they now understand. How would I know that this is not what he's doing right now? Because his life has been hard. I'm not bringing a rebellious son into Yah's kingdom. That's not going to happen. I tell my sons that all the time. I love Yahuwah and I care about his kingdom. Our people have been living in rebellion and rejection of him for far too long, for centuries. I am not doing it. And I know the world, they may not understand, but I don't care about this world and its standards. I'm not bringing rebellion into the kingdom just because I love them very much. That's not happening for me. And I got personal here just to tell you, I understand how it feels. My family that doesn't love Yahuwah, I mean, some of them, they just love Christianity, and some of them, they just love themselves, but none of them love Yahuwah. And therefore, they are in judgment. If they want help, I would help them, obviously. I've been trying to help them. But I am not at the time where I'm willing to jump out of this covering that Yah has me in to bring them out. I put it on the line many times over many years, so I personally know that I did all that I could. But I knew there was a time limit on these things. Now everyone has to deal with the repercussions of their decisions. Understand this now as I say it. Everyone has to deal with the repercussions of their decisions. Like if they didn't listen 5 years ago and they did things that they shouldn't have done, many people are going to have to deal with the repercussions of that decision. And so as you see problems happening with people, I'm seeing it all the time right now, please understand this is repercussions for these decisions. But for you, if you have been focusing on Yah and growing your relationship with him and putting him first, you have to ask yourself, Are you willing to be caught in the judgment because the others around you didn't want to follow? Always think about Lot's wife. She was good to go. Yah was judging Sodom and Gomorrah, and he allowed her to go. All she had to do was keep going to safety. But because her daughters were still there, because their husbands rejected Lot's warning, when she heard the screams, she turned around. And Yah said, nope, not you. You aren't grateful enough and not focused on me enough. And she could not come. She was granted a blessing, but it wasn't enough for her. It's a hard thing to deal with. I understand that. But I believe that I am communicating with many people that are of the remnant. People that Yahuwah knew would be here when he prophesied of these end times to the prophets thousands of years ago. He knew of us all and has guarded us all. And if you're going to reap the blessings and be a part of the most beautiful promises in the world, it comes with hard decisions, and that comes with letting people go. You have to let them go. Many of you are asking about fellowshipping right now. I get a lot of questions about forming groups and whatever. I don't personally believe this is what I am called to do. I believe the only group that we will be in is when we are gathered. I know that most of you that ask this come from the church background, and therefore you're used to that type of assembly and all that. I understand that, and there are many groups scattered around that are blessed to have this. But please understand that this is not the norm. We are a remnant. What is a remnant? A remnant is a remaining part or trace of something that is left over after the rest has been used, removed, or destroyed. You are a remnant of the last of the righteous, the last of the people who truly love Yah and truly desire his kingdom. You are the last remaining parts of it. I know because of Christianity, people think that this is some big religion and there's a whole bunch of people all around you that are like this. No, you are a remnant. That's what a remnant is. It's a small amount. Yahusha said that the gates that lead to life is narrow, and there are few who find it. So though it is nice and you are blessed if you have others around you that you can fellowship and grow with, don't expect this always to be the case. Do not make this your main goal. Obviously, if you are able to find it, stay in it, but make sure it's based in truth. Make sure these people truly are about Yah and that they're truly about the kingdom and not about other goals. An assembly is good if it's grounded in truth. But personally, you must grow your relationship with Yahuwah on your own. And if you have a family, build them up in it too. There will be a time when we are all gathered and we will assemble and we will live in blessings. I don't believe now is that time personally. I can only speak personally. He has never led me in this way or even given me a spark of that. But that's me. Maybe you disagree, and that's fine. I can only tell you what he has placed on my heart. So what I'm trying to get at is that though you're isolated right now, don't look at it as always a bad thing. Your isolation is protection. And the more you let Satan fill you up with nonsense that the isolation is not protection and is not good for you, the more you let him weaken your defenses, and you can walk yourself right out of the covering Yahweh has placed you in. Don't walk out of that covering. If you have been led in isolation for a little bit, it's probably because you've had snakes and serpents surrounding you and you had to get your bush cut back. You have to grow in Yah. And listen, the thing that most people need to understand is that the more you grow in Yah and the more you have a relationship with him, you will find that he is all that you ever needed. I'm a person that grew up amongst the crew. We were always together, but it was never enough. Until I found Yahuwah, I found that he was all that I needed. And so right now, this is what you should focus on. Focus on your relationship with Yahuwah, because when you find him and you truly understand him, he will cover you and you won't feel that isolation feeling. You won't feel that you are without anything. So if you're feeling it, you need to wrap yourself up in him more and understand him better. This is about a personal relationship. Do not lose everything because you're focused on being amongst a whole bunch of people. And that leads me to my next point. Please watch what you're taking in. The biggest problem today is too many choices. Have you ever said that you want to watch something, but you spent a whole hour scanning through titles because you're just searching to hear or see something different? This is what YouTube does, I know. If you watch my channel, but then you also watch channels that promote the pre-tribulation rapture to you, you are in confusion. Pick one. You can leave my channel, it won't hurt my feelings. You should have a core belief, and this is what you're filling yourself up with. You shouldn't be jumping to different stations, different channels to find something that makes you feel good or whatever. Fill yourself up in truth. And if you don't think that this channel is about the truth, then find whatever you think is your truth and you stick with it. But stop jumping around. I have tried to share with you that there is an agenda that is leading the Christian church to the beast. And I showed it in a very simple way. And there were many that saw it, but there were many others that came at me as if I was being judgmental. I don't know how to warn people and tell them the truth and not speak against lies and liars at the same time and not sound judgmental. You're going to sound judgmental when you're judging the wicked. There are liars working to steal your soul. And unfortunately, they stand on pulpits and they also make Christian content. And that's why the first piece of advice is so important, that you need to know the promises and know what you're waiting for. Because like with me, whether you agree with me or not, you know that this content is all about preparing you for the second Exodus. But if you don't believe in the second Exodus, then this content is not for you. But if you believe in the second Exodus, then why would you be listening to channels that don't know a thing about it and are preparing for something different? Be careful how many different voices you're allowing to talk with you. And also another point of advice, and this is regards to conspiracies. Stop searching out conspiracies and what is going on and what's happening behind the scenes or whatever. That time is over. Conspiracy theorists are going to be led to the mark of the beast the same way as others, because it's not about knowing the lies. It's about knowing the truth that keeps you out of the strong delusion. My wife was recently talking to someone and she was talking about this conspiracy and that conspiracy, but yet she believes in the pre-tribulation rapture and she follows Anthony Mitchell's ministry. Listen, it don't matter how many conspiracies this girl knows. She doesn't know enough about the truth, and therefore she's going to be led into trouble, because it's not about knowing conspiracies. It's about knowing Yahuwah and being tied to him in the truth. And that's the only thing that matters. So in this point in time, the only thing you should be doing is growing your relationship with Yahuwah, which is why I have started this new series, because nothing else matters. And the things that, like on YouTube, that's all you're going to see, because this is, people are chasing content. They're making content to draw people in. And the controversies, the gossip, the conspiracies, this is what people are viewing on YouTube right now. So this is what the content that people are making. They're not making content to make sure that you're ready for the times ahead. They're making content to be relevant. Today, all people want is to know about conspiracies. And what do you think Trump is going to do? Do you think that this person is a devil worshiper? What was the subliminal message behind this? Hear me good with this. At this point in the game, none of that matters. The enemy can even put more of his garbage in front of you to draw you in, to distract you. Because here's the thing you may need to be made aware of now. It's possible you are more interested in Satan and in his ways than you are letting on. You like his conspiracies. You like trying to figure out his satanic messages. You like solving his codes or his riddles. You are a secret fan of Satan, and he knows it. I mean, listen, once you figure out that this world worships Satan, there's nothing left to figure out. More people are tied to Satan knowingly or unknowingly than they are tied to Yahuwah. Remember, remnant. You're the remnant, those who are left. So once you know the agenda and what Satan desires, and you know he's moving through the mainstream world, you can cut out most of that influence with that understanding right there. You don't need to know every conspiracy. If you fill yourself up on Yah, you're going to be ready for him. You don't need to know all the lies and tricks of Satan. And Satan knows that you like all his little schemes and stuff, so he keeps sending it at you. He keeps sending you these videos. He keeps sending you all these distractions that keep you focused on what he's doing, because you are more focused on Satan than you are on Yahuwah. And that's a problem. What you need to do is focus on Yahuwah. Know him as deeply as you can. Understand his word, understand his promises. Those are the only things that matter. Knowing satanic conspiracies and looking at gossip means nothing. Here's another tip. Stop watching Christians debate. No matter what side you're on in your doctrines, it does not matter. Yahuwah does not get the glory in that type of content. The better debater gets the glory. This is what Christian media is today, is gossip, exposing false churches and false pastors while still upholding the false religion. And also people debating each other to uphold their ego. Understand this now. The truth does not need to be debated. It's the truth, and it will always have its day. I remember from the beginning of this ministry when I was speaking against Christmas, one of those guys, Inspiring Philosophy, desperately wanted me to debate him about Christmas. You think I'm going to debate about Christmas? If you want to celebrate Christmas, celebrate Christmas. That's your soul. You think I'm going to debate about it? The truth is that it's a pagan holiday. If you don't like it and you think that you can celebrate it and see what happens with your soul. I'm not debating that. I'm telling you the truth about it. The truth does not need to be debated. It doesn't matter how well someone can argue. The only person that could judge the debate and truly determine the winner is Yahuwah. And so, if you live in his truth, you already know what he says. Someone could be strong on the truth and lose the debate because they don't know how to articulate it. How does that bring Yah the glory? None of that content is about Yahuwah. And you need to be mindful of how much you are filling yourself up with that nonsense, because this is the state of the Christian world today. Even Israelites, everybody's debating, making content, debating each other to get views, to get their ego up, to make themselves something. Get rid of this stuff. This is not about Yahuwah, it's about them. What I'm trying to say is be very intentional on what you're feeding yourself with. If you think I'm full of it, then stop watching me. In the end, there are going to be people that are ready, and there are going to be people that are not ready. I desire to be one of those that are ready. If you watch my content, regardless if you agree with me or not, if you say that this hasn't been my focus, you are a liar. All I can tell you is that this is the best time to be alive. But if you are not smart and intentional about all of your actions, you can make major mistakes at the worst point in time. Right now, everything that you do matters. So what you should be asking yourself is, how does each action you're taking prepare you for Yahuwah and his kingdom? You must be kingdom-minded. So listen, hard times are ahead. I can't tell the future, and I don't know how all this will pan out, but hard times are coming. They absolutely have to. I mean, just look at the debt clock. 38 trillion and counting. And maybe you don't know this, but a government shutdown does not slow down the national debt clock. In fact, shutdowns typically end up increasing the national debt and worsening its trajectory. This is real stuff. And if when you're hearing this, it scares you, you are not ready, and you need to get ready. Your attitude needs to be that you are a part of the remnant that Yahuwah has promised to guard and keep, and you will trust him to keep his word. And in order for this to happen, you must be faithful to him, as well as you need to get real serious on everything that you're doing from this point forward. And another point of advice, if you have travel plans, cancel them until you know for certainty the future of travel. You don't want to get stuck anywhere. Also, have a discussion with your family about what you will do if things go bad and they start rioting. Also, make sure you are disciplined enough to not take part in the civil war. And even if they start provoking racial tensions and people start doing a lot of things provoking you, make sure you know that you're going to stay out of it. Also, be mindful of the social media and your algorithms. Oh, so let me just give this one thing. I recently went back to this show that aired a decade ago called Homeland, because right now there's an agenda that's forming that seems similar to what I saw in that show. Anyways, as I was watching, I saw them show how a government agency was behind social media bots that would provoke and target people online. There was a whole room of people making false posts to spur up debate and stir up a lot of provocation on the internet. And for me, I'm quite certain that I've spoken to these bots before, because most of them, they don't respond back. They just put out messages to provoke you or to steer you. I just want to tell you that it's a real thing. You're not always talking to real people on the internet.
Plus, this isn't just about fake news and manipulating public opinion. It's about stifling dissent.
Okay.
And with AI right now, it's probably even worse. So be mindful of what you're being influenced by on social media. That's my point. Be ready for hard times ahead and understand that none of what is happening in this world has anything to do with Yah's remnant, except that we are witnessing judgment on this world in real time. And it is our duty to stay out of it and let Yahuwah clear the way for us. Don't follow their narratives and don't attach your heart to them. Don't attach your livelihood to the system or their money. Trust Yahuwah in all things. The scripture says, trust in Yahuwah with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear Yahuwah and depart from evil. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 7. Remember that. I felt that all this needed to be said, and I know it may be hard to hear, but I'm only trying to help you and your family endure. I truly desire that those who love Yahuwah are ready for him. And I just want to help spread encouragement and advice that can help you. I hope this does help you, and I hope to see many of you in the second Exodus. So please, continue to focus and prepare and rebuke the devil at every turn, because you are at a point in time where you are either one of the most blessed people in the world, or you are one headed to judgment with the rest of everyone. That is completely your choice to make. But at least now, you have been properly told and warned that the kingdom of Yahuwah is truly at hand. Be ready for it. And be blessed. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Okay, thanks again for watching. If this has blessed you, please make sure to like it and share it. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Yah willing, I upload every Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday. Please don't forget to follow this ministry on Facebook and Instagram to find out when these videos are posted. As always, I would like to give a special thank you to those who have donated and contributed to this ministry. You know who you are. Your contribution and support, it's a huge blessing to this ministry, and I'm very grateful for it. Thank you for your obedience to Yahweh's call on your heart. Be blessed. Okay, thanks again for watching, everyone. I love you all.